A lot needs to happen this week, and we currently have 4 Senate proposals on the table that would mean more money to those who lost their jobs. A proposal will be voted on this week, so I'm going to go over the details of each potential stimulus proposal. And then alongside unemployment, we also have some updated details with the second stimulus check, which I will discuss at the end of this video. All right, before we get into it, please don't forget to stimulate the like button on this video for the YouTube algorithm, and let's jump right in. Starting with a brief recap, federal enhanced unemployment expired last week, and the Democratic and Republican parties really couldn't be much further apart from one another on their opinions. Democrats want an extension of $600 per week, while Republicans want some form of wage match to ensure workers don't make more on unemployment than they did at their previous job. And then understandably, both Democratic and Republican voters are extremely frustrated right now with their legislators because both sides are just kind of playing games and really just getting no agreement with the other side, and we're the ones who have to pay for it. So here's what the Republicans in the Senate are planning to do. They know that they are getting blamed for inaction, so they're going to fast-track some floor votes on bills that include solutions for enhanced unemployment. But here's the kicker. They are holding these votes knowing these bills might not get passed. It's largely a vote to show the record, hey, we're here, we're trying to put a bill on the floor, we want things to happen, we're not trying to have no action here. So here is a quote from Senator John Thune on the exact topic, and I feel he summarizes their plan pretty well. We need to get things moving, and this gets things moving. Our guys want to vote. They want to be able to prove they're moving the ball down the field, and the Democrats want to keep blocking their plans. And this exposes that. And hopefully it will get them to get serious about actually sitting down and working on a solution. So it's unknown right now which unemployment proposal the Senate will choose to actually vote on, but there are several options. So let's go over all the options. That way you know what's going on and you can pick your favorite. The one we've heard the most about is the proposal within the HEALS Act. This proposal sets enhanced unemployment at 70% of a worker's previous wages. Because it will take a while for states to update their unemployment systems to handle that 70% rule, this plan outlines that it will give states 8 weeks to get that issue solved, during which the transition period, the enhanced benefit for unemployment would be $200 per week for each unemployed worker on top of regular state unemployment. The next proposal, which is quite similar to that first one we just talked about, but is from Senators Johnson and Brune, they offer to give workers 2/3 or 66% roughly of their previous wage on enhanced unemployment. With this proposal, the enhanced benefit is capped at $500 per week. This means enhanced unemployment won't get higher for workers who had a previous salary of above around $3,400 a month. However, it's important to note again that this is above normal state unemployment benefits. And finally, under this plan, the second plan, if states are unable to make the calculation transition to 2/3 of a worker's previous pay, the enhanced payment would then default to $200 per week for all workers. And that wouldn't just be a transition period, it would just be $200 per week until whenever the bill expires. So here is a quote from Senator Brune on his proposal. He says, "We can't pay anyone more in unemployment than they made at their job. I support a temporary boost in unemployment benefits that fixes this problem without adding trillions in debt or funding DC pet projects." The next proposal comes from Senators Romney, Collins, and McSally, who outline that states should have 2 options. States can either choose a plan that gives workers an 80% wage replacement, or if that's too complicated for a state to figure out, they can then choose instead the other option, which gives flat amounts. Under this proposal, the flat amounts would be $500 per week in August, $400 per week in September, and $300 per week in October. And here is what Mitt Romney had to say about his proposal. I'm trying to give a quote from each person, that way it's completely unbiased and you get to hear exactly what that person feels about their proposal. So here it goes from Mitt Romney. Unemployed workers should not be left in limbo while Congress continues to negotiate the next relief package. Our solution extends the supplemental benefits for 3 months and incentivizes states to update their unemployment insurance processing system. Then finally, the last proposal, which isn't even really a proposal yet, it's from Senator Lindsey Graham, who says he will offer a proposal that outlines enhanced unemployment at 100% of a worker's previous wages. Now, there aren't a whole lot of other details on Graham's proposal, but here's what he has to say about it. Here's a short quote. He says, "It's the 21st century, enough already. All I'm saying is I want to replace your wages, but not give you a pay raise." Simple enough, I suppose. So it's pretty obvious that the senators have a lot to figure out in a few short days. One thing we can definitely pick up from all these proposals is whatever's voted on or even potentially passed will include some form of percentage-based wage replacement. It does make sense to base unemployment off of previous wages. That will undoubtedly create the least amount of waste and the least amount of unfair outcomes versus any flat rate amount. However, the issue is how in the world will state unemployment offices be able to make this happen in such a short period of time? Some state unemployment offices estimate it could take 6 to 9 months to make this happen. So I have a feeling if states have a choice to choose between a percentage-based and a flat rate amount, they're pretty much all going to choose the flat rate amount because it's going to be a whole lot less work for the unemployment office to figure out. So looking at these proposals, the best one has to be one that gives states the options to figure out the percentage rule because it might just simply be impossible to do percentage-based. It's hard to tell exactly what these systems are like. They've got to be very bad if every state is like, hey, this is going to be nearly impossible to figure out. But which one between those proposals is the best one to choose? Now that's really the question to dig into. Taking a look at it, it's really a tough decision. With any flat rate amount, lower wage workers will always make more proportionally to their previous wage. We did the math on this on a previous video, and even at a $200 per week enhanced benefit, this would equate to a 95% wage replacement for minimum wage workers. However, that $200 per week enhanced benefit would only come out to 65% in wage replacement for the average U.S. income earner. I just feel none of these proposals are perfect. However, if I had to pick one, it seems the best is probably Romney, Collins, and McSally's proposal to give 80% of wages or the scaling payment from $500 to $300. And it just seems like that's kind of the best of what we have to choose from right now. This would be the best, at least for the average worker in the U.S., by giving this 2-month runway to find new employment before the benefits are decreased too dramatically, which I feel like is at least a fair solution. Even if that's the best, it's hard to say that that proposal is amazing, in my opinion. So I'm really curious to hear what are your thoughts on these proposals. Let me know in the comments below. If a certain proposal sticks out to you or makes sense, or you have some kind of insights there, let me know in the comments. I'll be curious to know. But no matter what gets put on the floor, it's going to be tough to get anything passed at this point in the Senate, and here's why. There are 53 Republican Senate members, and McConnell says 15 to 20 of those 53 will not vote for any relief bill. They feel we've spent enough, we shouldn't spend any more. So this means in order to get any Republican-sponsored bill passed, there needs to be pretty substantial support from the Democratic Senate members. Beyond this, the Senate is still set to go on vacation next week, so this adds even more complications. There's a small chance that a bill could be passed this week, but if there isn't, we would see one of 3 options. First being the Senate delays their vacation to pass a bill, and then with this, McConnell has said in the past that he will not do this, but things can change, so I'm not going to say that this is an impossible event, but it's pretty unlikely. The second scenario would be the Senate waits until after its recess to pass a bill, which would be pretty bad for most Americans. And then the third scenario would be no bills are passed this week, but the Senate conducts a pro forma vote and gets the deal done while on recess. All of those seem kind of unlikely, so it's really hard to decipher which one exactly will happen. I really hope we just see all the pieces of this puzzle come together this week and some kind of agreement on both sides, just for the sake of the people. If a bill does get passed this week, it would likely mean stimulus checks sometime in late August to mid-September. If we see a scenario where no bill is passed until after the recess, it could be as late as October for checks to be sent. Luckily, at least, checks are one of the few items that has very little debate attached to it, and we will very likely see it passed as part of any comprehensive package. We might see a smaller one passed first, like just to address unemployment first, and then have the stimulus check as part of a later bill. But as part of any comprehensive bill, it's very likely that we see a stimulus check. So let's end this one on a good note, that stimulus checks are not a distant dream. The odds are still in our favor, no matter how complicated everything has been for the last couple weeks. So this is all I have for today. Check out the link in my description for Webull to get 2 free stocks valued between $12 up to $1,400. All you need to do is make an account and deposit $100 into that account, and you don't even have to spend the $100 and you get 2 free stocks. You can take the $100 back. So it's a great intro for anyone who's interested in stock investing. Anyways, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.